Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? I don't think I've done a reading for you before. I'd like to explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe the pictures the best I can. They never waste a message. They don't waste their energy. There's always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. Go, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about grandma. Um, this is not an exact science, and we communicate the best way we can. Sometimes you got to stretch it outside the box a little bit. It's not always exact, not a lot of details. Should be just enough so you understand what he's referring to. When he first came in, he was singing Knick Knack Paddywhack, Give a Dog a Bone. So go Google, what is that song? This Old Man? Well, that's from way back. I have no clue how old you are. But they usually refer to something that I know because I'm old too. Hang on, let me see if I can find the song. Anyway, Alexa came up with somebody a little more modern who must have sang it since then, but it's a children's song. Go Google that, check out the words, listen to it. There'll be a message in there for you, or maybe it's something. Maybe he used to sing this, or it's okay. He's shown himself with like a big saw, and he's sawing a big chunk of wood, and he's doing this, and he's singing this song. He may not be even singing it out loud. It's almost like he's singing it in his head. This old man, he did this, but I think he had different words for it. I think he had his own version of it, maybe. This old man, he did something. This old man, he did this. Uh, Whatever it is. He's not telling me all the words. And he keeps grandma. He's not saying if she's still here or if she's with him. He's not showing me this grandma. Oh, okay. He's shown me an older lady. She doesn't look real slim, but she's laying on a bed, kind of like a hospital type bed. Kind of looks like, could be nursing home, just because it doesn't look like a real hospital-y room. And he's sitting by her head and talking to her before she passes. I don't know if this is happening now or if this has already happened and he wants somebody to know that he was there for her. He was comforting her in her last few hours. And if you talk to anybody who's any type of a nurse that's worked in a nursing home, and even hospitals, but anybody that's a nurse who's been around people that pass, they will tell you a few days before they pass, before their patient passes, that they start talking about their loved one that's already in heaven. And they might even wave at them because they see them. They know almost always there's a loved one that comes through where the person leaving Earth, transitioning, actually knows that they're there and they're comforted by this because they know they're going to be safe and they know they're going to find their way and they know they're going to be with their loved ones again. So if this has already happened and you happen to pop in there a couple of times and it looked like she was staring at something across the room, or actually my mother-in-law, she was watching something up in the corner of the ceiling. I thought, he's here, he's come to get her husband. She was definitely watching something. So know that this woman was comforted. And for some reason, you need to know that, or somebody around you needs to know that. So he was making this very clear. Okay, he's talking about a scratchy throat. Now, I always have a scratchy throat from all my years of smoking. Maybe it's almost like he just wants to scratch it, like So I don't know if he's talking about the inside of the throat or the outside of the throat. If somebody has a rash going on or just had a rash going on, like he's trying to validate that it's him. And I usually ask them, please validate at least a couple of things so they know, so you know for sure that we're talking to him. My throat's always scratchy on the inside, but I don't think he's referring to me. He just wanted to dig on it, almost claw it with his fingernails. Like maybe he had a problem before he passed with his throat and it was bothering him. He says, I love you very much. It's kind of matter of fact. I love you very much. Love doesn't die. It's the highest form of energy there is. And it's almost like he's showing me like, how do I explain this? It's almost like little waves of energy that go from you to him when you're expressing your love for him. And it's just like a radio wave, but you can see it. I don't know how else to explain that. And it goes to him. I promise you 1,000%. He can hear you. He can see you. Talk to him all you want to. He says he knows you were mad at him for leaving. Almost kind of like you're pounding your fist or stomping your feet. And even if you didn't do that physically, he says he understands. And it's okay. But it was my time to go. How many ways can I say I'm sorry? I don't think he's talking about being sorry for leaving. I think he's trying to apologize for something else. I am sorry. Okay, he's walking behind me. And I can feel him, but everybody feels the energy different. I can feel him walking behind me. At some point, at least once, they make my head itch. Their energy makes me itch. You should just feel. You know how it is when somebody's sitting across the room and they're staring at you and you feel that energy? You just feel it, or you feel it. Somebody comes in the room and you feel them in there. You don't hear them, you don't see them. It's that kind of thing. You turn and go, ah, there's somebody here. Or why are you staring at me? They stare at me because I'm weird. It's nothing new. So when you get that feeling like maybe somebody's here and you look around, there's nobody there, validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him. Pop in more if you want him to. That's your free will choice. It's totally up to you. But you always want to validate when you think you get a sign from them, because that way they know that they got their sign across to you. They know that you know they're there, and it really helps the connection. It's almost like he's pushing on between my shoulder blades. It's like a little balloon pushing just in that spot up high. So no, if you feel that just a little pressure there, it shouldn't be hurtful, but I've had them do things like, feels like they're sticking me with pins, like, hey, we're trying to get your attention, so we're going to do a little harsh. Usually it's so soft that you're still pushing there, like you really wouldn't even think about it if you didn't know it was going to happen. He's wanting you to know that he has your back. So if you need help with something that he was good at here, something he understood here, go ahead and ask him for. He's pushing harder now. So he's probably going to try to push it hard on you. He wants you to know he's there. He's your backbone. He said he's your support. and I'm your grandpa. Doesn't get any better than that, he says. Okay, he's showing me he actually follows you around your house. And it's like he's thump, 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 thump behind you. Thump, 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 thump. And I don't know if he's doing this. It's like he's right behind you. And he just, almost like it's tied to you. I won't say he's doing this 24/7, because that's highly unlikely. So again, you feel like, somebody's watching me. And if it creeps you out, if it bothers you, tell him. Tell him you can't do it at certain times or at all, or you want it every minute. It's totally up to you to tell him what you want him to do and not to do. And they don't mind. It's not like you're going to hurt his feelings or piss him off. They don't want to scare you. I go to people's houses to cleanse their house, and they go, my house is haunted. No, it's just grandma popping in and check on you. It's nothing bad. Most of the time when I go. So he says, how do you really want your hair to look? And he's going like this. How do you really want your hair to look? So is there something that you've been wanting to do to your hair that you think other people will go, yeah, or somebody in the family will bitch at you and say that's horrible? Yeah, I got some red that I had put in my hair, and you can't really see it in this lighting. I don't care what the others think. I did it for me. So there's something you'd like to do to your hair. Maybe you want to get a crew cut. I did that one time. He said, so what do you really want to do with your hair? He says, go do it. He's Laney, Haney. It's almost like Lahey. Lahey. We really stink at names. Nicknames count. And the more I say it, the worse it gets, because I'm totally throwing that energy into it. But I have to explain. So that's one of those you got to stretch outside the box. He's mentioning this name for a reason. He's not saying what the reason is. He's calling you a miracle baby. You are the miracle baby. Okay, I have a granddaughter I call the miracle baby. She was the first one. And I told everybody in the family, shit's going to change. We're not going to do this anymore. She's the miracle baby. She's going to change the attitudes in the family that are around me. And she has. Or maybe you were born premature, or maybe you were underweight, or maybe you had a problem when you were born, but he's calling you his miracle baby. He says a miracle baby. So now he just took his finger and went like that on my head, but I could feel it wiggling between, the spiky hair. I could feel a fly land on it, but I could feel it just going between. So now again, validating, acknowledging, telling him you love him, and asking to bring you more. He's also over here giving me a kiss on top of my right ear. Doesn't have to be the right ear. Right on the tip of the ear. Well, look at my elf ears. So you should feel that. And it could feel wet. It could feel warm. It could feel tingly, depending on how you feel the energy. He says you're going to know. He says things are going better in your life than you think they are. Don't stress out over the small stuff. And then he goes, don't stress the small stuff. He says, let all those small stuff, let all those little pieces, say it again, He says, let them work themselves into something. So don't worry about the little pieces that are moving around, because they're all going to come together and they're going to work into something. So don't stress the small stuff, because you need the small pieces to come together. But worrying about each individual teeny tiny grain of sand is just going to stress you out. Let it happen the way it's supposed to. Oh, he's going to say, what did I just get that a while ago? Divine timing. The one card that I get all the time is divine timing. I hate that card. It's a good card, but it means it'll happen when it's supposed to. It'll happen when everything falls into place. But to me, it means be patient. You're going to get it when you're supposed to get it, not when you want to get it. So I'm not patient. I'm not a patient person. So know that he says be patient. Just let it flow. And it will be okay. And know that we're all rooting for you. And we all love you. He's not saying who we all are up there. And it could even be a great-great-great-grandfather that's trickling some down too. You don't have to know them, know who they were in this life. I'm babbling again, sorry. With that, he's going to leave. I should turn that off, sorry. So if you want him to pop in, if you want him to help you with things in this life, ask him, give him permission. He cannot override your free will choice. None of them can override your free will choice. I do some of the dumbest stuff in the world. And my guides and family go, Rhonda, why are you doing that? Because I can. And they just help guide us back on path, and we'll be okay. So ask him, give him permission, and then just sit back and watch what's brought to you. But it's very important to ask and say, okay, I do want this. If you ask for a big mansion, probably not going to get it, but who knows? I asked for $10 million one time. I thought, okay, go big or go home. And I kept asking, trying to manifest it. I knew there wasn't any way I was going to get it. Well, that probably stopped it too. I will swear on my life, I got some scam email that said I had won $10 million. It absolutely was not true. And I thought, the scam picked that amount that I'd been asking for. So ask for what it is you want, and then allow them to bring it to you the best way. It'll probably be a way you never even thought of. Let them bring it to you the best way. As he's walking away, he says, I love you. And I will be around. I am around. He says, he turns around and looks at me. He says, just trust it. And then just like everything else, and then don't worry about it. Okay, with that, he's gone. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you very much. I'm always booked for a couple days, or 3, 4, 10, who knows. So thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.